my super sweet crafty friends, welcome to my channel, Carolina's Creations-handmade. If you're new, please subscribe and click the bell button down below so you don't miss any of my videos. How are you guys doing? I hope you had a very nice Labor Day weekend along with your loved ones. And if you're not in the US and you don't celebrate Labor Day, I hope that you had a very nice weekend. So I'm going to share with you today my tutorial on how to make this super adorable 3D paper rosettes. And these were inspired by the Griffin embossing folder. And if you haven't seen my video, I shared a prior video with several different kinds that I made, and I'm going to post that link over here and down in the description below. You can check it out and see how many different types you can make just by changing the basic principles I'm going to share with you. You can actually decorate your projects using these paper rosettes and then modify them to suit like mini albums, tags, and any other kind of things you want to make. You can use it for packaging for your Halloween treats, for Christmas, and many other things. So let's start with my tutorial. I'm going to share with you here the basic materials you're going to need. This is pretty easy. This doesn't require anything special, any special tools. So you're going to need cardstock, and again, don't throw away your scraps because you can use them to make those beautiful little rosettes just by using the little strips of cardstock. I made the smallest one using a strip sort of like this one here, and you can see this one is 7/8 of an inch. And it was actually not 12 inches, it was around 6 inches long. I'm going to be using this little foam sheet, and if you don't have one, I recommend that you use something that is going to be useful for you to score, and that is going to help your score line be more pronounced. So if you don't have a foam piece like this, you can use maybe some kind of like thin cloth or maybe felt. That would be really useful. If you don't have it, don't worry, you really don't need it. You're also going to need a scoring tool like this one here, and you're also going to need a scoring board. But if you don't have one, don't despair. You can use your trusty little ruler. So if you don't have a scoring board, and even if you don't have a scoring tool, you don't really need them, you can use your ruler to kind of like mark the distances where you're going to score, and then use your ruler to score. And also you can use like a butter knife or something that has a blunt area to score. A butter knife would be ideal if you don't have a scoring tool like this. You're also going to need some scissors, and you're going to need glue. And that's about everything you need. I have several different strips here that I cut already, and these are from my scraps. And what I do, if you're going to mass produce, if you're doing it for craft fairs or for parties or to gift to several people, if you're going to make several of, I recommend that you do it assembly style. And what I do is one day I just sit and cut my pieces, trim my scraps to the sizes I want to use, or to several different sizes that I can store. And then I score my pieces. So I have already the bases of my rosettes made. And then whenever I'm ready to put them together, I just get my scraps out, my strips out, and then I just start folding them and I glue them. This is a super good way to do it because you can store them flat. So you can make them different sizes. Like this piece over here, for instance, is a 2-inch piece and is a 12x12 inch. This one I score at a 1/4 inch all the way through vertically, and then I did the rest of my scoring in here. But I'm going to share with you, the smaller that your piece of cardstock is in length, the wider the inside of your rosette, the wider of the inside here is going to be, because your rosette is going to be spread wider by the time that you close your strip like this. If your strip is longer, your rosette is going to be more like this one, because your inside area is going to be more bunched up. So this area here is going to be closer together, which is going to give you this kind of rosette. So the shorter in length your strip is, the wider this opening is going to be. The longer your strip is, the closer together these openings are going to get, like this. So that is the first principle for that. The second one is this one. You can see here there are several different areas that are scored. So we have our vertical lines, and you can decide if you want to make them a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, 5/8 of an inch, an inch. It depends on the size of your rosette and how wide you want to make them. So I'm going to share with you this area here. These vertical lines are actually where we're going to determine the height of your rosette. This area here, the height of your rosette is going to be determined by the size of your vertical lines. So you can see here, if I fold this in here and I fold this in here, this is going to be the height of my rosette. It's going to be a 1/4 inch. So if you want to have a higher rosette, then you can score at 1/2 inch, for instance, and this would be the height of your rosette. So this is the second principle. Your vertical score lines are going to determine the height of your rosette. Now we're going to go to the next principle. And the next principle is, I actually use two lines here, two horizontal lines that I score very lightly. I don't score them as pronounced as my the rest of my score lines, and those are going to be guides for me. So you're going to have a first horizontal line that I'm going to create just as a guide. You don't have to do it scored. You can also mark it with your pen very lightly if you want to. I like doing it scored. It's easier for me, and I don't mind if it shows a little tiny line. This first horizontal line here is going to determine the size of my rosette from here, from this point in here, down. So whatever size I make this area here, from this the first horizontal score line down, this area here is going to determine what this size is going to be from here to here. So over here, the size of this one is going to be 1 1/4. From here to here is going to measure 1 1/4 inches. And then I have a second horizontal score line that I decide where I want to make it. This score line I actually made at, let's see, it's 1/2 inch from the first one. So my second score line, I made it 1/2 inch from the first one on this rosette. So 1/2 inch from the second score line, and this area from the first score line to my second score line, it's what is going to determine the size of my peak in here. This peaks, the point areas here, the ends here, are going to be determined by these two score lines, my first and second. So from this area here to the top end here of the little peak is going to be determined by the size of my two score lines. Then the rest over here, this little area here from my second score line to the end, is going to determine the height from this point in here. I'm sorry, I'm out of frame. It's going to determine the height from this point in here down. So you can see here, this little area from here down is going to be determined by the size of this line in here from my second score line to the end. So now you know, if you change any of the dimensions in here, your rosettes are going to be totally different. If you change the size from here to your first score line, you're going to make it either smaller or longer from the middle point up to here. If you do the first score line and the second score line a determined size, that is going to determine your size from this point here to the point here at the tip. So this size here is going to determine that area, and from the second score line to the end is where it's going to determine the height from here to this point in here to this end here. And the horizontal lines, the width in which you select your horizontal lines, is what is going to determine the height, the overall height of your rosette. So if you know these principles, then you can make any size and any shape you want to. So you can make them wall size, or you can make them as tiny as you want. You're going to need also a little circle. My circles are bigger. You can make them like 1/2 inch circle, so it actually covers just that tiny area. I like using like a 1 inch punch for the bottom, and then you can do a smaller area for the top. If you're going to decorate something and you don't want this circle to show, you can make it very a smaller, like 1/2 inch circle or something like that to close your rosette at the top, and then you can decorate it. Now let's start creating our rosette. So I'm going to be using this Hello Pink Autumn from Prima, this paper. This is gorgeous, and I'm just kind of like going through real quick over here just so you have an idea of how beautiful this paper is. And I want to use this one. Alrighty, so here's my strip of paper, and it measures 12 inches by 1 1/4 inches. So I am going to give you another tip over here. On your score lines, make sure that you always score on the same side of the cardstock. If you start scoring, like, let's say vertical lines on one side, and then you turn your paper and put it on the other side to do your horizontal lines, and then switch to a different side to do the diagonal lines, it's going to make it a lot harder for you to fold your rosette, and it's not going to end up being as clean finished. So make sure that you do all your score lines on the same side of the paper. The height of my rosette is going to be determined by the vertical lines, by the size of my vertical lines. So I think I'm going to score every 3/8 of an inch. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to score. And make sure that your score lines are marked, because it's going to make it a lot easier for you to fold. Don't do it so hard that it will rip your cardstock or paper, but do it marked enough. It will make it easier for you to fold. So 1, 2, 3, and score. 1, 2, 3, and score. And how is your Labor Day holiday weekend, guys? Did you do anything special? Did you spend it with your family or friends, or was it sort of like a regular weekend for you? My husband and I actually had a chance to go to the beach on I believe it was Monday. Yeah, exactly on Labor Day. It was really nice. The weather was perfect. You know, Florida weather can get really muggy and hot. It's sometimes a little bit suffocating, but it was super nice. It was breezy. It didn't rain. It said there was a little bit of chance of rain, and actually when we left there were some clouds that started showing and some thunder and stuff, so it was perfect timing. But we didn't get any rain. The water was super nice. So yeah, we had a good time. We swam a little bit. We were in the sun for a little bit, catching a lot of vitamin D. And yeah, it was a nice, quiet Labor Day. It was just the two of us at the beach, and we had a very nice time. It was relaxing, and it was like, wow, so needed. So I'm done with my score lines here, and you can see here I went a little too hard on the last one, and I ripped my cardstock a little bit. So make sure you don't do that. But you can see in there my score lines. So once I have my vertical score lines, I'm going to turn my piece of paper around, and I'm going to score on the long side the two lines that I'm going to use as a guide. So now it's my time to decide what length I'm going to have from the center of my piece over here to this end here. I think I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/8 of an inch for my first horizontal line, which is going to be a guideline. And for this one, I barely mark it just to have it as a guide. You can maybe barely see it in there. So to decide the size that it's going to have from here to the top of the tip in there, I'm going to do my second score line, and that one is going to be at 1, 2, 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to go at 3/8 of an inch, and this is going to give me my second guideline, horizontal guideline. So I know that the size from this point here down is going to be 1/4 inch, because it's going to be from 1 1/4 to 1 1/2, and that is mostly our score lines done. So once we got those score lines done, we're not going to need our scoring board any longer. I don't use a ruler, but if you don't have steady hands, I would recommend you use it. You will have your score line starting here from the first horizontal guideline, and you would go diagonally right to the point where your second horizontal guideline meets with the first vertical score line. So right from here to here. And then you will go from that point, that center point there, diagonally down to your first horizontal guideline, right where it meets with the next vertical score line. So you will go from here up and then from here down. Make sure that you don't go past these points where they meet, where the guidelines meet, because your rosette is not going to be clean if you do that. You could do it like go up and down, up and down, up and down all the way through. But if you're going to mass produce, I'm going to actually give you another tip. Do all the lines going up first, and then switch your cardstock a little bit and do all the score lines going down next. And that would make your scoring process a lot quicker, and for mass producing this would be much better. So I'm going to start with my first diagonal line going up, and then I'm going to leave blank the square there that I should go down, where my diagonal line would go down. I'm going to leave that one blank, and I'm going to go up again from that point there where my first guideline meets with the vertical score line. I'm going to go start at that point and go diagonally up to where my second horizontal guideline meets with the vertical score line. So I'm going up, and I'm going to make sure that is a pronounced score line, so it's easier for me to fold. And I am sorry because this cardstock is actually not very easy to see. So then I'm going to skip one and go again one up, skip one and go up, skip one and go up, then I'm going to skip one and go up, skip one and go up. And you can see when you do that, it's a lot quicker than if you would have to go up and down, up and down, up and down. It takes longer if you do it that way. And I wish it was easier to see. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but hopefully you can. So you see all my lines, my diagonal lines going up are made. So I'm going to start over here at my second guideline, right where it meets with the vertical score line, and I'm going to go down right to where my first guideline meets with the next vertical line, and then I'm going to be going again. I know that this one was up, so then I'm going down. I'm going to be doing this all the way until I have my piece scored, and then the last one I'm going down. So you can hopefully see in there my score piece. So once we have this done, then the next part is going to be to fold our rosette. Going down, going up, going down, up. I'm going to fold accordion style. And if you mark your score lines properly, it should be fairly easy to do your folding. And you should also be very clean. You know, like sometimes when you don't score properly, you have sort of like a snaky looking piece. If you score properly, it's going to be straight even when you fold it like that. So you fold your piece. And then once I have it all folded, I just press a bit just to make the score lines even a little bit more pronounced. And then I'm going to have this little accordion piece over here. So I'm going to fold it, so this side is where I'm going to push in my folds, and then I'm going to leave this one by itself, and then I'm going to pinch in here on this too. I'm going to sort of pinch, and then I'm going to put my finger in here and in here, and then I'm going to push inside inwards, so it folds my cardstock just like that. So I have my first fold in there. So again, I'm going to leave this piece the way it is, and then I'm going to pinch on the next vertical score lines like this, putting my finger here, I'm going to pinch, and then I'm going to use my index finger, and I'm going to put my other finger here, and with this too, I'm going to try to fold in there. I'm going to push inwards and fold. So I have my first one there. Then this is my first one, like this. So then I'm going to fold this one, and then I'm going to pinch in here, and I'm going to go inwards. I'm going to go in like this, and you can see that it creates sort of like the shape in there. So I'm going to push and fold. It's a little finicky, but once you do this several times, I promise you, you're going to probably do it in your sleep. So then after I have this folded, then I'm going to fold this one up, and then I'm going to grab this piece and fold it down like that. So let's start over so you can see what I did. This one I left alone, but then I'm going to fold this next one, and I'm going to pinch in here, and then I'm going to put my finger here, and with the index finger I'm going to push inwards, and then I'm going to fold. And then I'm going to fold this area, I'm going to pinch here, and I'm going to push and fold. So then the next one I'm going to fold to the side, and then I'm going to fold to the next side, and I'm going to press in here, and then I'm going to pinch in here at the center and push it in. Then I'm going to fold this one to the side like that, and then I'm going to fold this one to the side where it goes, and then I'm going to pinch in here like this and press right inwards and fold. So then I'm going to make sure that I fold to this side, and then I fold and then I fold this one again, so I mark my fold line, and then I'm going to press here on the next one that I'm going to push in. I'm going to press in here. You can see where my finger is on this side like this, and my two fingers here, and then you're going to push inwards right in here. And if your score line was marked properly, that should be fairly easy. So then I fold in there, I fold my other piece, and then I pinch and push, and then you press the two together. Then I'm going to fold in there to mark it, and then I'm going to fold the two to mark the score line, and then I'm going to pinch this two, and I'm going to press in here inwards. See? And then I'm going to bring the two together and push it. So I'm going to fold, then I'm going to fold in here, Then I'm going to pinch. And I'm going to press and push. And you can see it goes in right there because I already have the score line. So I'm going to press. And you can see I have my pieces all pressed. So then I'm going to fold this one up. And I'm going to press this area down. So it's a little bit finicky. Maybe the first or second time is going to be a little harder for you. But once you do that, once you've done it a few times, you're going to realize it's super easy. Once you get the hang of it, you can make several of them in no time. You can also create, push them like that. And it will give you a bigger rosette. And it will give you bigger openings if you press them open. Or you could do it like this and bunch them. So if you stretch them, your openings are going to be wider. If you push them together in, your openings are going to be shorter. And now I'm going to show you how I glue it. I'm going to use this one that is 3/4 of an inch, this circle that is 3/4 of an inch for the top part. And then I'm going to use this circle is a 1-inch circle, and it's actually 2 of them glued together already, so it's a little sturdier. So this is how your ends are going to look. You're going to have these 2 here that are going to be single, this single piece here and this single piece here. So I'm going to add glue to this flap in here a little bit so I can close it. I can close this flap like that, and I'm going to do the same on this side. So this is my little flap in there. I'm going to add a little glue in here in that area to close it, and then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add glue to this piece, all this piece, all this flap that is there by itself. I'm going to add glue to it, and I'm going to bring my rosette and I'm going to glue it to this flap in there. So I'm going to press them together. I'm going to try to glue it so it's sort of like even. So I'm going to glue those 2 together like so. You can see that they're glued together. And once I have them glued like that, I'm going to glue this flap either to this one or this one. So I'm going to decide which one it matches better. I'm going to glue this flap to this side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to this area here, as you can see. I'm going to press in there to the next one, so they glue together like so, so they become part of one. This is how my rosette is going to look. So now that I have it like this, I'm going to place the little peaks facing my table. I'm going to bunch it at the top, and then I'm going to press it down. And this is going to be my rosette. And now I'm going to add glue to my little circle. Now it's time to glue it. So now I'm going to close my rosette from the bottom, and I'm going to glue it. And I'm kind of like going to make sure that it's even everywhere. Like that. So here you go. If I glue it from the bottom, this side is going to stay up. If I glue it from here, you'll see that it's going to push it down. And it's going to remain like that. But I actually like it so that it's up at the top. And then I'm going to glue the little circle a little center circle. And here you go. There is my little rosette. I hope you guys like my tutorial. I hope it doesn't seem too complicated. It's really not. As I said, once you get a hang on it, it's pretty simple. And you will be able to make several of them in no time. And you can make them bigger, smaller. You can glue your embellishment to your little rosette. And you can use this to decorate your mini albums, your tags. You can decorate gift bags. You can decorate many things with this. And you can create tons of this in no time. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like my tutorial. I hope this is useful for you. Let me know down below how you like it. I'm going to be sending tomorrow the email for my giveaway. So if you email me for my Cricut Joy giveaway, you will receive an email tomorrow. I'm so sorry I couldn't email you guys earlier, but I've been a little busy and then it was the holiday weekend. But I'm going to email you all the rules to participate. Pretty simple, as I said. Nothing to mail, nothing to make. Just make sure that you follow the rules and you're subscribed to my channel. You're 18 years or older. And make sure that you check your email. If you haven't messaged me for the giveaway, make sure that you email me to the email that you'll see on the screen right now. So to participate, you will need to email to that email that you see on the screen right now. You also will need to be 18 years or older and subscribe to my channel. And then you'll see on my email the rules that you need to follow for my giveaway. And I'll give you all the details as to when it's going to be ending and when I'm going to do the drawing and where I'm going to now announce the winner. So I hope you guys have an amazing week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like my little guys over here in the tutorial, and I hope to see you back here soon for another video. Don't forget, if you like my video, click the like button below, leave me a comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel, and I hope to see you back here soon for another video. Bye bye. Love you guys. Mwah.